calls to order.
Let us pray, please. Lord, we appreciate the time to come together here at Tahlequah to do the people's business. You've given us a little bit of sunshine today. We appreciate it. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Shelley, would you do the roll call for me?
Janice Taylor. Here. Keith Austin. Bill England. Carla Buzzard.
Everything good.
Joe Bird. Tom Friedman. Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Frankie Harvest.
Present.
Wanda Hatfield. Rick Jordan.
Here.
Dick Lay.
Here.
White Campbell.
Here.
Mary Bakershaw.
Here.
Leo Smith.
Here.
Victoria Vasquez. David Walkenstein. Brian Warner. We do have a quorum.
Okay, I assume you have thoroughly read the December 12th minutes. I would entertain a motion for the approval. Second. Got a motion and a second to approve December 12th minutes. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Brings us down to our reports. Sean Slayton, long time no see.
Afternoon. Like I said last night, we finished up our fourth quarter very strong. Our December numbers aren't quite in, but we're going to be very happy with what they have been. And I appreciate the performance of everybody during the first quarter. Would like to spend a little time today laying out what the executive team and I feel like is the biggest threat to the Cherokee Nation businesses at this point, and that is the initiative again to put gaming into Arkansas. That has reared its head again. 2 weeks ago, the Quapaw and Chairman Berry had a press conference that they were going to put forth an initiative to try to get gaming on the ballot in Arkansas in 5 counties, 5 eligible counties in Arkansas with 3 casinos. And the 5 counties are the most economically depressed counties in that state. And the way that the ballot language is drafted is that the mayor and some of the city officials there have to draft a letter of support and go through some processes. Pine Bluff is where they made the announcement, and they have some property there, the town and city does, that they would like to have Quapaws develop a casino there. So the other 4 counties, 2 are in the east and 2 are in our territory, if you will, our market area, and that's in Rowland. It's Crawford and Polk County. And I don't think that is going to be the only ballot initiative that is proposed in Arkansas. Based on what we're hearing, the group that tried to do that with us last week is trying to come up with some language that we can make it through the ballot process and get on the ballot to be voted. I think as we've studied the issue over there, we really feel like that if there is a gaming proposal that makes it through the process and ends up on the ballot, that there is a high likelihood that the voters would pass that. And if that is in any of those casinos, would be in our western Arkansas, northwestern or midwestern Arkansas, in the West Siloam or Rowland area, it would be devastating to the tribe, to Cherokee Nation. So, given that, we continue to monitor that situation. At some point, we and the tribe will have to make a decision about what we want to do over there. And the options that are out there is do nothing, just wait and see what happens. Find something that we can support and participate and protect our territory, or put money behind defeating it. All of those have different risks associated with them, but it's a very serious threat to the nation and to the businesses. And we have outside counsel that we've engaged to help us try to sort through the things that are out there and to help us try to come up with the best option, best bad option, if you will, that would be facing us. So over the course of time, next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, we will be we will be keeping you updated on that. And at some point, we may have a recommendation for the nation as to which way to go with that. But for West Siloam and for Rowland, we've had a third-party study done on the effects on those two properties, jobs-wise and profitability. And gaming in Arkansas would be devastating for those two properties. I say that if it was in western Arkansas. If it's just Pine Bluff or Little Rock or on the east side or Texarkana, not so much. But for anything other than us to be gaming on that side of Oklahoma and Arkansas, it would hurt severely. So anyway, I wanted to bring that happy news to you today and just get it out there that that issue is back on the radar. And quite frankly, I think every 2 years until it passes, it's going to be. I think this is something ongoing that we'll have to contend with. I don't think people are going to stop trying to get gaming into Arkansas. So with that, I'll entertain any comments and questions. And
Counselor Crittenden's just been sitting on his hands over there. Go.
it's a big deal
Now,
for
Pecola-
his area.
Now, Pecola is real close to
Sure.
Rowland. Now, would that figure into the equation on?
If they put a casino in Crawford County, you divide the market into 3 instead of 2. So, it's a battle for market share at that point. Not wanting in public to discuss where the market for Rowland comes from, other than to just say that it would be a significant impact to that property if there was a casino east on I-40 somewhere.
Don't just give us just a reminder if this is going to creep up again. Just give us a summary of this last thing we did, and you may have done that before I walked in, but just a quick summary so we could all get refreshed on kind of what we did last time.
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of starting on the process in Arkansas and how it works on a ballot initiative is somebody decides they want something on the ballot, any citizen or whatever. And so they have somebody craft ballot language that they want the people to vote on that says they would like to have gaming in Arkansas, and they spell out how they would like to see that happen. That then goes to the Arkansas Attorney General, and they read through the language, and it's their job to say, yes, this is a good, what they call ballot title. It's structured that people know what it is. It's not hidden, and the people can make a good decision with the ballot language that's been presented. Once once whoever does that gets the okay, there is a certain time frame that you have to gather enough signatures to get it on the ballot to be voted on.
So an individual can do that if they have enough money, right?
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
try to get a ballot. All right, I'm still following.
You know, there's time frames that this can happen. But the deadline is May or early June or something like that, because they vote on it in November. So there's a lot of specific time frames that have to be met, or deadlines, if you will. And this time we have enough warning that, you know, we can have some time to kind of try to sort through what the best options are. Last time, the way it was presented, I think it was 4 casinos in Arkansas, and one of them was Washington County, and we really had no time to make a decision because they had the language approved by the Attorney General, and were beginning to gather ballots or signatures for the petition. So they gathered enough signatures, and then it goes before a review, I believe I'm saying that correctly, by the state Supreme Court. No, that's not right. Anybody can challenge that, and that's what happened. Somebody challenged that petition and that language. Sometimes they challenge and say, well, you got enough signatures, but they're not valid signatures. They don't reside, they don't follow whatever Arkansas's laws are about gathering them. So they try to beat it that way. Or they'll beat it with, you know, the language isn't clear. They'll file a ballot language petition or challenge. And that's what happened last time. In the court appointed a magistrate, and he agreed that because it could be read, in his opinion, that sports betting would be allowed in Arkansas, which is against the law at this point across the United States, that it wasn't eligible to be voted on. Had it got to the ballot and passed, there would still probably have been some legal challenges that other people may have filed against that. So even if it passes, you know, anybody can file a lawsuit, and sometimes that keeps you tied up for a while. And so that's what happened last time.
Let me ask you this, Sean, and I'm not asking you something I already know, trying to play
Sure.
mind checkers. I'm trying to learn here. We got, now the people who try to get this on the ballot, now they have a little stroke, right? I mean, are those the people that say, hey, Cherokee, give us this, and you'll have the say-so? Hey, Chicks, Chops, whoever, are they the people who have that negotiating power?
With us, what happens is they're looking for a way to fund that petition drive. It's not really expensive to get the ballot language passed by the Attorney General. It's just some legal fees. The real money is 2 things. One, the petition drive, gathering the signatures. And then once you do that, funding the campaign to get it passed. And with it being such a big risk to the nation, we had very little time last time to make a decision. But the way that one was structured was that if it passed, there would be a casino in Washington County, and we felt like we didn't really have a better alternative at that point than to participate. We'll be faced with the same thing with either one of these petitions.
Do that every 2 years.
Yes.
And let me just make it, so anybody could try to get that on the ballot, right? And people are going to do it because it's probably pretty lucrative, isn't it?
Well, if you have a casino, it's...
But I mean, are the people who are trying to get it on the ballot, they have casinos?
Yes, in Arkansas, the Quapaw have filed the petition, filed ballot language.
Now, who did we pay to kind of save our spot last time?
Last time there still is this time, there's a group of individuals. They live in Missouri. They're from the Branson area, and this was just something that they wanted to do and had a dream to do, and they wanted to own and operate one of them right there on the highway going to Branson on the Arkansas border. So they're still out there. Chairman Berry and the Quapaws are out there.
Now, those people,
And-
that's the first people, they don't have casino, right? They're just a group
Correct.
that,
Yeah.
that can kind of negotiate with the tribes, whoever gets here first.
Well, yeah, what they're doing is just saying, hey, this is our ballot language. It designated them as being the controlling party to those. And so if you want in on this, here's the price.
And there's two sides to the thinking last time, and but these individuals, it didn't pass. They walked away with a lot of money, didn't they?
None,
None?
none.
Okay, well, that's good. I'd hate to chase different individuals like that every
Yeah,
2 years,
no.
you know.
The money that was spent on the
Campaign.
campaign and gathering the signatures. Yeah, from us, they didn't get any money.
Thank you for bearing with me, and I'm sure everybody wants to
Sure.
be updated just every little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's, we learn every day something else, and, we're not counting ourselves as experts. We've tried to engage counsel that has a lot of knowledge of Arkansas law and politics, because that's a big part of it too.
Counselor Walkenstein.
Is it, Sean, is it the same price as last time? Or did you suspect it'd be less or more?
You mean from the other group? We don't know what it is, Dave. We haven't met with them on that. We're gonna do that and listen to what they're saying, but right now, the only one that's been filed is from Chairman Berry.
Has the politics changed in Arkansas, or are they the same as they were 2 years ago?
My view on it is probably that they're the same,
The same.
but again, if there's a measure that gets to the people,
Yeah. But it seems to me
politics don't matter at that point.
the language was written, but evidently it wasn't written well enough for the AG. But the language was written well enough if there was a motive or a drive to go forward with it, they would have pushed it to the voters. I think that.
Well, the AG approved the language.
Hey, you did approve that. Who was it? The Secretary was the Secretary of State. It didn't get to the voters.
No, the Secretary of State ratified the petition, so then it was going to go to be put on the
Ballot.
vote. And a third party challenged it, and that's when it went before the magistrate that was appointed by the Supreme Court to view the language.
So the Supreme Court's the one that
They have
shot
the
it down.
ultimate. They have the ultimate say if it gets challenged. Yeah.
Gotcha. And seems like the Supreme Court may be pretty conservative, and
They could be. Yeah. Again, any way you go, it's a risk.
sure. No, I agree. It's a
The-
gamble. Yeah.
It is,
Who would have
but
thought that Arkansas would have passed a measure on legalizing marijuana, and they did.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
It's medical.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point.
it is a risk any way you go, but to do nothing is not an option considering our market share right there on the border. So, Jody, do you have something to add to
I
this
just want to
conversation?
add to Sean's question about them making money or whatever. I know last time they had to account on our investment, what we had spent, and we actually got a refund of
yeah,
a partial investment.
we had committed X, and they only spent Y, and we got the difference back.
Right.
Thank you,
So-
Joe. Thank you.
Speaker, do you have something to add?
The only, I'm raised there on the border.
Sir?
I said, I was raised there on the border.
Okay.
Okay. Attended Muldrow High School, worked at Ballot Electric Motors, all my family there on the border. The only thing that gets me in this, in the whole strategy, we're utilizing Missouri people. and our battlers in Arkansas. That's the only drawback I have with this. And they may be the most qualified, but knowing Arkansas politics,
Yeah. Well, let me clarify that, Joe. That was the last time. We're not using them. They're one of two entities that have put forth, or they're one of two entities we know that are going to try to do this. The other are the Quapaws, and they've already submitted their ballot language. The other group, which is the group that we were in with last time, is going to do that. We told them we wouldn't support the same language, but if they're going to submit language that designates Washington County as one of the sites for a casino, then that we would need to look and see whether we felt like we wanted to participate or not. Again, you get back to the three options: do nothing, try to get it passed, or try to defeat it.
We're going back to the same group?
No, I'm not being clear about this. There's one that has submitted the language to the AG.
That's not, but
That's
not,
the Quapaws.
That's not the same group that we went with last.
That's
this is-
Chairman Berry and the Quapaws.
But the group that they're using with Arkansas, that's not the same group. This is a whole different group that Quapaws is using.
Quapaws have submitted their own petition to
Okay,
do gaming in Arkansas.
gotcha.
It allows 3 casinos in Arkansas in 5 potential counties, 2 of which are Pope and Crawford, which is down by Roland. The second group that we know is going to submit a petition, a ballot, to the
You
AG.
say group, you're saying a tribe or a group?
The second group, apart from the Quapaws, that is going to submit is the same group that approached us last year.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
so they're approaching us again saying, hey, we're going to do this. Are you in or you out?
Okay, I got
And
you.
we said we're out if the language is the same. We will listen to what new idea you have if you're going to run that. Because we're in the same situation with them. If theirs makes it to the ballot and we're not a part of that, and there's a casino operated by somebody other than Cherokee in Fayetteville, Springdale area, Washington County, it'll be devastating to both Roland and West
I
Siloam.
understand that. So the Supreme Court in Arkansas, when they turned down the, our proposal or language, was it the language they turned down, the Supreme Court? Okay,
The way it was structured in the language, yes.
okay.
Obviously,
All right,
this
thank
is
you,
a complex issue, and there's going to be much discussion between now and then, but I appreciate that you've got your finger on it. Counselor Shaw?
Yes, can I change the subject?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to know, does Cherokee Nation Entertainment give Tero members preferential consideration?
Yes.
We do. Then what is being done to ensure that all casinos are complying when booking local entertainment? I mean, do they ask when they book if it's if they're Tero certified?
On the bands, yeah, the bands are kind of a little different situation, but we do give consideration to them. Yes, they have to go, just like everybody else, they have to go through an audition process, submit tapes. You know, I told Janice earlier, everybody that's got a guitar and a drum thinks they're a band. And we could do a funny home video thing on the I'm not saying that to be funny, I'm just saying, we get all kinds of
Oh, I'm
submissions
sure.
from everybody, not just Cherokee, but from everybody in northeast Oklahoma that feel like they should have the opportunity to sing and play at the casinos. But we do try and support Cherokee musicians.
Okay, the casinos have been instructed not to book entertainment past the first quarter. Is Cherokee Entertainment planning to start using a booking agent to book local talent for casinos?
Well, Janice asked me that. I got with Mark last night. He said one of the ideas being floated is to create a Cherokee house band at each property, which is composed of Cherokee singers and this, that, and the other, to try to alleviate some of the problems. But that has not been approved. If they have been instructed not to book past the first quarter, I don't know about it, and I'll check with Mark and see if he knows about it. But at this point, we haven't decided to deviate from what we've been doing for 10 years.
Okay, I just know that they've been instructed not to book.
Well, they may have. I'll check into that, but I
Okay,
don't know
and
that.
the other thing I wanted to talk about was this tribal employment on technology. I noticed that in our non-preference companies, Cherokee Nation Technology, there's 370 employees, no Cherokees, but they claim 1.4% Native American. And also Cherokee Nation Technology Solutions with 323 employees, there is 0 Native Americans. So we're talking about 693 jobs and less than 1% Native American. Now, we do train our casino dealers and all this. Can we not train some Cherokee people to do some of these technology positions to get them jobs?
Yes, and we do, and we are fully supportive of that effort, and that is the one segment of our business that's growing rapidly. And many of those positions are in other states. Are the backbone for those companies, what we call back of house spots, are here in the 14 counties. So I'm not familiar with exactly what the makeup of those employees, what locations those are, but I know a good majority of those will be other states.
So somewhere in
Yeah, had
another
a lot
state, yeah, there's a company called Cherokee Nation Technology Solutions, and they don't have any Cherokees or Indians.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's something that we could do to help with the education of our Cherokee citizens to where they could take some of these jobs.
All of those jobs are posted, so they are being offered. Now, you know, those particular ones, again, I don't know where those locations are. I can tell you that we've not had a lot of success asking Cherokee people to move away from the 14 counties. They like being home, they like being with their families, they like being involved with the nation, and you know, it's hard to do that when you're in DC and San Antonio and places like that. So that may be what that is. I'll research that more and get you an answer. You're welcome.
Yes, Councilor Crittenden?
John, like she's talking about, is it still preference? Let's say a person here wanted to move and a person in San Antonio, non-Cherokee. Does this guy, if he was willing to move, still have preference?
Yes, if he's qualified, sure.
Thank you.
Anything else for Sean? Yes, Harley?
And Sean, you may not want to divulge this, but you talked about the language a while ago that the other company had that we were in with the last time this came.
Yes, sir.
Is there something particular about that language that you don't like or CNE doesn't like?
Well, we liked it, the court didn't.
Okay, well.
And what that was they felt like, if I remember correctly, they just felt like that the way that was worded gave one party control over the whole deal. The way that John's is written is everybody can submit to that local agency, and if they get a letter, then they're eligible, and I believe somebody else, the lottery commissioner, someone like that would make the choice on how that.
So you said there was 3 counties to the east, and I believe you said 2 to the west. Is Washington County one of those counties you're talking about?
In John's, it's Crawford and Pope,
Okay.
which is Fort Smith, Roland,
Smith Road. Okay. But Washington County is not in
not in the
this.
Quapaws.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they defined it as economically disadvantaged, and I believe there's 5 in Arkansas.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be any other tribes will try, do you think Choctaws will try to expand too?
In Arkansas? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I would think they would be equally as concerned as the Cherokee about a casino in Crawford or Polk County.
Okay, if there's nothing else for Sean, I appreciate you coming back today,
Absolutely.
and we will see you next month.
You're welcome, and I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the council being involved. We want you involved with this. It's not a C&B decision. The impact is to the nation, and I appreciate everybody that's listened today, and we'll try to keep you updated
Sean,
as it goes.
who's gonna make the final decision on this?
Well, we'll make a recommendation, and then we'll work on that, David. I believe last time we briefed the council and, of course, the chief, and made our decision from that. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, Lacey, I know you've been dying for your turn.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I don't have much to report, just that our auditors are here, and we are very busy with that, of course. So you all have my report, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Yes, Counselor Lake.
That contract support cost settlement,
Yes, sir.
and we're hearing that it's 6 to 10 million.
I believe so. Yes.
So it's not here today.
It's not here.
We have the issue with the scholarships for high school juniors and seniors.
Yes, sir.
And I know you're concerned about where the money comes from. And that seems a likely low-hanging fruit to do so.
Yes, sir. In the past, the contract support cost settlements net have come to the Tribes General Fund, and we have brought those forward as appropriations for programs like higher education scholarships, like concurrent enrollment scholarships. I do believe that we started the initial concurrent enrollment scholarships with carryover funds. And so that is absolutely the place we'll be looking for, looking to help fund not only this program, but other programs that the council is very much in favor of.
Has education given you a ballpark figure of what that's going to be?
They did. I did have some questions on the legislation to just sort of clarify it because, you know, depending on what the legislation's intent really was, it could change the cost of the scholarship program, I believe, as you passed, and I think you made some changes today before you passed it. Specifically, the one area that we saw was the 6 hours, and I think the intent was likely not per year, but per semester, and I think you all fixed that. So I don't have a ballpark figure that I have calculated. I do know education has worked on that, and I'm sure after it passes final council tonight, they'll have a more firm figure on that.
I haven't received one from education. Brian, did you? Okay. I know that you talk back and forth, so I just wondered while you're here. Two things. One, that's a good place to get some money.
Yes.
The other thing is what the approximate cost might be. Has that not been worked up yet from education, do you think?
Well, they did have a preliminary, and I don't know if Jennifer's here or not. Yes, Jennifer? I don't know. Do you have one based upon the new legislation passed today, or?
For the semesters, we're going to be an additional $295,000 for the so we can complete our current spring funding to see what balance we have left before we move forward with an actual ask.
There we go.
Thank you.
So it looks like you could be seeing something probably first of the summer. That'd probably be
Thank you.
a good timeline.
Anybody else have any questions for Lacey while she's here? All right, appreciate you,
Thank you.
Treasurer. see the lovely and talented Brenda Fitzgerald. Diane caught me last night and said that she had a prior engagement. We moved our meeting, and so she has sent her number one right hand.
Or number half, whatever.
report.
Good afternoon, everybody. You have our career services report in front of you. Let me just mention that we are doing interviews for our 2 new grants, the reentry grant and our disability employment initiative grant. We're gearing up for summer youth, going to start taking applications next month. And play on words, Groundhog Day next month. We're going to be doing job shadowing for folks that's in our business tech class. And there will be a proclamation signing next week with the chief on Monday.
You know, if that
Questions?
selection's been made on the prior office.
No, that is still open. And I think it closes the 22nd. Don't repeat me on that. It closes soon.
Okay, I was under the impression that a panel had been sent.
I'm sorry, I got confused with Vanita. Yes, you're right. There has been
Okay,
selections.
very good. Thank
Any
you.
other
Have
questions?
they accepted or?
I really don't know. That comes from HR. And if Stephanie was here, she could answer that, but
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just curious since it's right in my backyard.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes,
Do you do any technology training?
yes, we do. And I made a note for your
Thank you.
question.
I
So
appreciate
we'll
that.
explore that.
We're talking 700 jobs, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank
Counselor
you.
Crittenden?
Now, will you take back and discuss with Diane?
Yes.
The Adair County schools, they're kind of coming together on our truancy.
Okay.
And, we had a grant and didn't get it, something fell through, but we're trying to put together something. And just come to my mind that you guys are creating jobs and putting people to work. If there's something hand in hand on something like that, you guys could
Always up
discuss.
for a good challenge.
Don't mind discussing that with Diane. Thank you.
Counselor Vasquez?
Yes, thank you. I just would like to speak with you after this
Sure,
meeting.
sure.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, thank you,
Thank you.
Brenda.
Can I make a comment?
Uh-huh, you may.
Hey Lacey, have you received the email from Secretary or Dr. Graham? They're in Washington DC, and they wanted me to let the council know, but I thought they'd already emailed you about the continuing resolution that's been negotiated doesn't include the special diabetes program, which is an enormous amount with employees. So they're keeping us posted on that, and I just want to know if they gave you the email. I just got it, and they said make that announcement.
Yes, sir. I'd received a legislative action alert from the National Indian Health Board about 11:43 today. So we do have our eye on that, and I have forwarded that back to the Secretary as well as to Kim Key, Government Relations. So I assume they'll probably be taking action on that and letting our lobbyists.
Okay. Does everybody understand what we're talking about here?
Can you repeat that?
Yes, we're operating off a continuing resolution on the national level. And our special diabetes program, which is a substantial amount of funds there. Jody might have a number there that I don't have, a number of employees, but that was not included in the House bill. So in what reason, I don't know. But they just contacted our people there in DC, our lobbyists, to see if we can't somehow reactivate that. But it's a substantial amount. Lacey, you might have something to add to that?
I do not.
Okay. All right. I did what I was asked to do. And if I hear more, I'll have Gail email this information to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Anna. You either busted it back from the NORA meeting or just kind of split with Diane to be here to answer our questions.
Yes, she stayed. I came back. You can note my dedication to you.
Well, if we can't have both of you, at least we can have one of you.
Yeah, she was working with some other people up there, so I came back.
Okay, thank you.
But I just handed out a document. Shay had mentioned that yesterday there was a request for information on the 184 program. And so this is a document that we had actually given to you in the past, and I know you guys have a ton of things to remember. So we updated it just a tad, and this is the basics of the 184 program. And if you need more information or if you have any questions, then please let me know. The majority of our MAP clients use 184. The biggest advantage to them is the lower private mortgage insurance lowers their payments, sometimes by up to $100 a month. That's the biggest advantage and why we market it so much. And I will also say that the Cherokees, nation citizens, not necessarily, and this was even before the Housing Authority, take the lion's share of the 184 guarantee money across the nation. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage of it, but our citizens do get the lion's share of it. It's marketed very well. Other than that, you have a copy of my report. I wanted to let you know that on C&E, I've been working with Doug, and we came up with a percentage, and so their percentage is 66.32. Is 66.32 of all the Tero procurement opportunities are given to Tero vendors. And part of what they did is they're having to hand calculate it and go through their procurements every month, and I'm not sure if you know what a NAICS code is, but it's a North American Industry Classification Code. So the procurements are listed by NAICS codes as to who they're awarded to, and those are very general. So, for instance, the NAICS code for accounting includes audits. So while we have Tero vendors that are accountants, we don't have any Tero vendors that are accountants that can handle our audit, that have the capacity to handle our audit. So they're going through and they're hand adjusting some of those, and that's how we came up with the 66.32. Sandy King has worked a lot on it, and we hope that in the April report to be able to tell you as well how many opportunities the Tero vendors are bidding on and how many of those that they're getting. Because of how CNB requires some of their services and their goods, they're not, Tero vendors just don't have the capacity to perform the goods or services for them, either based on the geography, the timing, or just the massiveness of the job. So we'll try to start reporting that way in April, which will provide you with a little bit more information to show how well they're giving Tero vendors the bids. It'll also provide us with the opportunity to try to contact Tero vendors and find out why they're not bidding. Do they not know about the opportunities? Are they having some kind of issues? We'll probably split that work up with Tero. I was talking to Willard this morning, and try to figure out why they're not bidding on those opportunities. So.
And that being said, I'm going to piggyback on that a little bit. I've been after Anna for the last few months. Why is it not in here? So I just called Doug and had a discussion myself. And the bottom line is there had been one person compiling this report for long before my time. Nobody else really knew where they were getting the information, what information was included. And so that was it's been a learning curve. If there is anything that the council would like to see other than what she has mentioned, they're very amicable to get us the information we need. So you can email me, you can email Anna. They want to provide us the information. That was my concern, was they didn't want us to know, and that was not it at all. So if there's something she didn't mention or that you think of, just let me or Anna know you would like to be included, and they will include it for us.
Yeah, they've been very helpful. It has been just a learning curve for them to try to figure out how it was being reported. And actually, I think we've come up with how he was doing it himself. So we'll standardize this, and then they're still working on trying to automate it. It's still a subjective process, and hopefully one day it'll be automated. So yes.
Anything else we need from Commerce? Councilor Watkins?
I appreciate the email you guys sent on the MAP and iSave programs. on what those costs would be to, I guess, help out the current applications. There's, did everyone get the email? So it looks like there's we need additional 3.1 million.
That's for MAP, and then almost 900,000 for IDA. It would be 4 million altogether.
4 million.
And
that's just the existing applications.
that was the applications before we made the
To
change.
if we were going to grandfather them in or whatever.
Right, right. And I would just say that at this point, everyone's been contacted. Everyone's known about it for quite some time. Frankly, if you have $4 million laying around, I would like to see you fund additional families instead of going back to people who have already accepted a change that's been made. Because even under our current funding process, it's going to take 3 years to fund all the MAP applications that we have on hand right now. And it's going to take 18 months to fund all the ISAVE applications we have on hand right now. So if there was additional money, I would recommend that you direct it towards trying to fulfill the current rate to additional people versus trying to back up. And
What's the new map? Is it 10,000 or 15,000?
it's 10 to 20,000.
10 to 20.
And it's based on their income, and probably 80 to 85% of our applications are $20,000. They are low income. That's who is getting MAP.
Then the iSave, you're going from a 5-to-1 ratio to a 3-to-1 ratio.
Right. And I will tell you also that the vast majority of the iSave clients are not working on one project. They take multiple draws for multiple projects. So it's not as if they needed the entire $5,000 to replace a roof. It's that they needed $2,000 here to redo a floor. Then they wanted another $1,000 here to replace an appliance or update an appliance. And so it's not as though they can't complete their projects. For those few that they may not be able to complete their project because of the match rate that went down, then we are talking to them about a low interest loan to try to help them with the remainder of that project to get it completed for them. But it is just a handful of people.
Okay. I appreciate you doing the research and taking the time to get those numbers for us. That's really helpful.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
No, that's Nahasda funds, right?
Correct.
Let me back up a little bit. So these folks initially had an idea what they were going to get, and Nahasda cut funds
There was a reduction in our Nahasda funding, yes,
in your department.
in my department.
Okay.
I believe it was, I'm not sure
Thank you.
if it was overall or not, but yes.
Thank you.
And Anna, how many more participants would that 4 million serve if we went to that? Roughly, I know you can't give me that.
If you, I would have to say it would probably help us fund, all of the MAP applications, all of the iSave applications that we have right now. And it would probably help us fund the majority of MAP applications that we have. And I will qualify that not all the MAP applicants are ready right now, because we have 500 families sitting in self-sufficiency training, improving their credit. But they spend an average of 19 months there, and they regularly kick out. Over 100 of them kick out every year.
So, well, I see your point. I think you made a good point. But anyway, think about it some more. Thank you.
Anything else for Anna? I appreciate you accommodating our change in schedule and
Yes.
keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're gonna go on down to the Tero certification. Do you like the ones that are in the book, Willard?
You're good.
Okay. Move for approval. Got a motion and a second on the Tero in the book. All those in favor? Any opposition? Okay, you were given a new community assistance sheet with your additions for this month. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Well, till next month.
You want me to, I need to add some for Councilor Warner. Marble City Community Organization, $500 for propane. Muldrow Cherokee Community Organization, $500 for damages to the building.
Anything else? Councilor Warner?
Ma'am.
Oh, go ahead.
Vine Peace Center, 500.
Make sure Jody gets it. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
You got
Okay.
any motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the community assistance. All those in favor? Any opposition? Law enforcement is in your book. Apparently, there were no changes since the printing.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposition?
I would like to mention that the law enforcement is in the budget today. So if that passes through council in February, you'll have about, I think it was a little over 32,000 each that'll be available in February, ENF. So
All right, so everybody look over their roads projects in the book.
the roads, there is an addition to the roads. There actually was none this month, but there's one new one that needs to be added, and that's for Councilor Jordan. Hulbert Cherokee Community Organization Access, Phase 1 for $2,000. And that'll be coming out of motor fuel tax.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second on the roads. All those in favor? Any opposition?
You have money in the
Okay, we did get a new sports team. Looks like maybe just one new one since last we met.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for sports teams. All those in favor? Any opposition? Looks like there's livestock in our book. Seemed like there
One
was
new
one
one.
new one. Help me out, Pete.
Oh, move for its approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for livestock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, new business. Counselor Jordan, you take number 1.
As soon as I find it.
I don't know if you're going to be participating in
This is a
district.
resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation Vocational Rehabilitation Program to donate surplus equipment to the United Wrestling Entertainment Foundation in Cherokee County. And I move for its approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Oh,
I just got a quick question.
you want to be added as a sponsor?
I do like
You
Jake
want to
the-
participate?
Jake the Snake's my favorite, but just a quick question, teach me something. Now, and I'm gonna vote to approve it.
Okay.
But, now, usually it has to be a nonprofit, right?
most of the time.
But this is just kinda, this is just an exception, right?
I think this is a nonprofit.
Huh? What is it?
Brad Eubank.
Oh, yeah, I'm voting for it, but I was
Okay.
just making it clear.
Kanan, do you have something to offer?
They are a nonprofit. They send their information as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's for fundraising.
Can someone explain what it is? I mean,
I didn't see that.
what they do?
It's right behind the resolution.
Yeah, I get it on.
Oh.
I don't know, you didn't make
Yes,
that.
and there it is. I wasn't worried about it. I'm a fan of wrestling. I was-
Okay, so what is your question, Wanda?
What do they
It's a
do?
16 by 6 wrestling ring.
I know they're wrestling, obviously, probably, but can someone explain what the resolution is? That's all.
Okay, since you participate, Kanan, would you go ahead and
Where's your
I
badge?
just wanted to know what it is. I mean, it says wrestling, I understand that.
You want to know what the organization is?
What do they do?
I think it's a local organization that
I'll go 2.5.
is a nonprofit that does fundraising, wrestling activities for youth, and And I think sometimes they send it to charitable organizations.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we ready to vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Hey, if we was gonna resurrect this community assistance, I need to add some money to Telehope Community Building.
Where were you when I asked for additions?
Where was the world when the world stopped turning?
We need to vote on this.
That's all you saying?
Excuse me? No, I wasn't singing a song. I'm trying to conduct a meeting.
Okay. Well,
And
I
everybody
just
needs to
wanted
be on the same page.
Yeah,
We need to
it-
vote on the wrestling thing.
Okay.
Oh, we did.
I'd like to resurrect this.
All
community
those in favor of the donation to the wrestling?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, Talina, can you tell me what our motion is? We're not on the table with that, but what is the motion to revisit something we've already voted on?
I guess you could.
Stick?
Make the motion to resurrect the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council Community Assistance.
Second.
Second.
Okay.
It's up to you whether you want
Yeah, it's for
to
the
allow
Cherokee
that.
people he's wanting to give money to.
Well,
Just
yeah.
a consent
I mean,
item on
it's-
the legislation.
Would you,
Aye.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's a consent item, so it's not. I mean,
Well,
it's past the point in the agenda, but I mean, it's your call. I don't think there's.
We voted on wrestling twice.
Well, we hadn't moved on. We hadn't, you know.
We're just revisiting an item. It's not
Okay.
like, it's
Hey,
not
Jody,
like it's
I like to put
legislation.
500 in the Telehope out of mine, and then 250 a piece out of Joe's and Rex's.
Let's take a consensus first if this is okay. Is it okay with council? Aye.
There you go.
All right, there you go.
And let's vote on it before he spends some of my money.
And then some Mason's money too.
No.
Motion to approve.
Okay. 500 Jody from his and 2.5 from Rex and myself to Telehope Community for appliances.
Yes. Kitchen appliances, washer and dryer, washer and deep freeze.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, so now let's go on down to our budget modification. Wanda, would you do number 2 for me?
This is an act amending legislative act 35-17 authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2018 Mod 2 and declaring an emergency. Excuse me, and declaring an emergency. I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this?
Acclamation.
By acclamation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, Frankie, would you do number 3, please?
An act amending legislative act 2617 authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2018 Mod 5 and declaring an emergency. I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Request that information.
By acclamation, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Seeing none, it's time for announcements. Next meeting is scheduled for February 22nd at 3 o'clock. May I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor?
Just sharpen the chainsaw.
Let's go home. We're adjourned.